Hello, friends. It's Saturday morning, early Saturday morning, and I thought that I'd uh, raise an issue as I'm nibbling on my breakfast. I want to talk about frivolity, okay? I, I look at a lot of television just like most of us do, and I'm getting ready for the Rams this weekend. Go Rams. That's important. Um, I think there's too much silliness in the place of where we need to be more serious. If one really is aware of what is going on in their society and their environment and are concerned about our fellow humans and how we get along, we would do something about it. We would do something about it. Are we serious enough about what we're confronted with? Well, let's look at it. This is the beginning of the weekend here in Los Angeles. Good morning, Evangelist Boogie. Good to hear you. Um, and I hope some of my other friends that see that I'm on, once they go to their computers, they'll chime in. Frivolity. Why does it appear to me that practically almost everything that is done, whether it is in business, if it's in health, care, whatever it is, it 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 appears that whomever is trying to take care of the product is trying to sell me a bill of goods with laughter and jokes and happy, happy, happy. When you go to buy a car, you aren't looking for happy, happy, happy. And I've driven expensive, beautiful sports cars, and it didn't make me feel happy, happy, happy. How did I feel when I uh, bought that Lexus? I mean, it was about 10,000 cash down. I said, here. That wasn't a happy, happy, happy. That was, I deserve that because I've accomplished something in my life. So there was nothing wrong with, oh, thank you. You said lovely background. This is one of the rooms in my house. And you know what I did? I'll tell you the truth. I chose. You see, that's a bed right here. It's really a bed. Look at that. See all that? It's a bed. I have my pillows and everything there. I have my accommodations that I got from the city fathers and mothers or whatever you want to call them. Uh, that picture on the end there is a picture of me when I was doing my radio back in the radio days when I was on the radio. Um, the other one is a picture of the LAPD graduation. I was a chaplain for the LAPD, and I took a picture with my then chief of police, Bernard Parks, uh, whom still lives here in the Crenshaw area. And I have an illustrious past. Mm. And the bookshelves because I read. You know, a lot of the young men that I deal with, they tell me, they say, PJ, you too serious. Do you ever ease up and have some fun? And they try to get me involved in it. They here recently bought a Monopoly game. Well, do you know? I guess I have to accept.
Mr. Coleman.
Well, how are you, my dear friend?
How you doing, brother? Everything good?
I am doing all right.
All right, not terrific.
All right. All right
Oh,
is
okay.
enough. I have a question for you. And
Yes, sir.
you are being listened to. You're going to be listened to all over the world because I'm doing a YouTube live when
Oh,
you call.
okay, brother.
No, wait a minute. Straighten up. You're okay.
Okay.
Do you think that there is too much frivolity in the world today?
I mean, you know what I mean? No, no, no,
you,
no, not at all.
you see, my friends, what he doesn't realize is that he is a part of the madness. You are a part of it. You've been conditioned to want to laugh at everything and see stupid things to keep your mind occupied. You're a part of the poison that has
Well,
poisoned our
well, I
country.
mean, it depends on what you're talking about, and you have to be specific. But if there's too much frivolity, if there's more time for people to engage in free things or have time, no. There's only a certain portion of the world that does that. Because if you live in developed nations, yeah, you have that up to, but you still got to work. Things are getting done. Bills are being paid. Roads are being paved. Buildings are being built. There's only a certain percentage, and a lot of that percentage mostly is in the youth. That's where money's being made through the youth, and
I
that's
guess
what
you're
I
right.
think.
That's where I feel like I'm left out because they got all this frivolity here. I don't want to laugh and see everything as a game.
Well, I mean that's been done for eons because if you don't do that, and this is the reason why there's so much money in entertainment, it's so much money why there was in music and in the arts because everyday life is boring. Everyday life is hard.
What?
This is yes, of
Miguel,
course.
that
Think
is
about it.
crazy.
Some,
Everyday life is not boring
somebody
and
told me
hard.
a long time ago, and maybe you agree with this. Now, and this relates to this question you're talking about.
Mm.
I was listening to this gentleman. I forget his name, but you know who it is. The guy that died, who was like a dating guru. I forget his name now. You
Yeah, the
probably
black
remember
guy. The black guy.
the black gentleman.
Yeah, I love this
So
show. Right.
he was talking about serious women and a man, because these women are going after quote unquote high valued men, and the question. Ultimately, he said, "Look, you got to be a serious woman because I'll tell you what, marriage is not exciting. Marriage eventually becomes redundant every day, and you have to get to the point."
Of course, everybody knows that. I was married 35 years.
Right. So
Redundancy, yes.
think about it. If you look at just the microcosm of marriage, which you could, there is some frivolity within that, but at the end of the day, it's two individuals with two like minds that are going to be successful, or maybe not two like minds, but if they're responsible adults, they know that marriage is not exciting. It could be dull. It could be, it's the same mundane thing every day.
Why can't the way they do the advertising business, why can't they market? No, you can't market love.
Of course you can market love.
No, you can't.
They package it in so many different ways to the point where now love is attached to gender, and gender now is fluid. So by doing it fluid, that means you can open up all of this to different markets. There's different forms of love.
Has gender always been fluid?
Yes, but it wasn't always out in the open because there was taboo and stigma attached behind that. So now that we're getting more of an open society, we have the clash of the old school and now this new generation. I was thinking about that the other day. A lot of people are dealing with this cognitive dissonance with this. It could sound like a really non-factor, but what people are doing, this whole battle of pronouns and all this other shit, ultimately what's going on is it's a paradigm shift. We're moving from a point where these things were considered taboo to speak about to the point where now they're speaking about it, to the point where they're blatantly saying, no, I'm not this, I'm this. I'm making a point.
Yes.
But in many ways, that same question that I'm saying, the same thing I'm talking about, the fluidity, some people consider that frivolity. That's just frivolous, and that's not a real issue. But for some people, it is a real issue. But ultimately, going back to the question, is there too much frivolity? Well, there's, due to the phone and the digital age, yeah, people can pass time more and idly by. But at the end of the day, work needs to be done. Serious people are still out there taking care of business. And even with that frivolity that social media has, some people somehow have managed to capitalize on that. All they got to do is sit down and talk a bunch of gibberish in front of a screen and make money.
And that bothers me also because it appears that it doesn't take very much intelligence to win over these young men.
It doesn't take much intelligence to be the president of the United States. And we just figured that out.
Oh my God, yes. I have never experienced so much ignorance in my life in the past. Man, just this year alone.
Here, you know what? Years ago as a child, me trying to figure out the English language, whenever I wanted to hear how the English language should be spoken, I would either put on Walter Cronkite, or when they had presidential debates, or I would be like, I've never heard these words. These guys are so eloquent. They're so well spoken. I might not agree with them, but he's persuasive. He uses this vocabulary. Now we got complete imbeciles. And I'm like, these are the people who are our leaders? I'm like, damn, we deserve it.
Yes, I just want to take time out and say good morning to Mark. I'm glad that you can join us. I got a few people that's on the, and you guys can write down your comments. What we're talking about is the our frivolity. Is it advantageous for us as human beings, as adults, as citizens of this fine country, to be frivolous? Oh, I want to apologize to you, Evangelist Boogie. What's on the top shelf of my books? I think I left a container up there because while I recline in this room, if I have to relieve myself, I can't get to the bathroom. And so I have that thing up there in the corner. That's what you're looking at. That's where
it's our jug.
Yes, that's my jug. because he asked what that was up on top of my books. And usually I clear it out of the way. But my YouTube audience know that PJ is right up front about it. I'll never be vulgar, but I would tell you about me. I'm not ashamed. And Miguel, I thank God I'll be 80 in February, man.
Thank God. You look like you're about 40. About
Thank,
my age, bro. I
thank
don't know
you,
what you're
man.
doing, but let the people know what you're doing.
Hey, man, you know what I'm doing? I'm just doing me. If these people, listen, if they took time and listened to my work and see how I did it, their lives, all this fly came in there. You know, I can't stand flies. I can't stand them. He wants to get in my herbal tea. That's what he
Oh yeah,
wants to get in.
that's an. Oh, you've been drinking tea. I've been doing mint tea mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I love mint tea.
I have this tea. I'll show you the package. I've had it, oh man, going on for years.
See that dream? Where do you get it?
Over the internet.
Oh, okay. I'll look for it on Amazon.
I doubt it. It's called lucid dreaming.
Oh, okay.
Soothing and calming.
Yeah, you got to get your rest.
Yeah.
So do you believe that helps you get to that REM sleep to the point where you be having these lucid dreams?
Drinking this healthy herbal tea. Yeah, Mark, I should indeed think so. You should get this tea. I've been drinking it well over a year, and my diet, Miguel, is what is keeping me healthy. I just started to eat again bacon yesterday. I bought this uncured bacon in the supermarket, and I'm gradually coming back on meats, but the pure meats, not the meats that these meat companies get and put all this stuff in it. That's what's killing the citizens. And I am relatively a healthy man. I do what a man should do. I think what a man should think. I look at what a man should look at. I am a man, and I love being a man. Yeah.
Yeah, but going back to that question, I'm the one that kind of raised it. This whole idea of fluidity and the challenging of norms. You have determined what a man should be, or for you, it's worked for you. But there's a new group, a new generation that's challenging what masculinity and what a man is. And some people, and this goes for any time paradigms start shifting or being challenged, people don't like it. But it's just the norm. People are changing.
We are, Miguel. We
Is it for the good? Is it for the good or for the bad?
Yeah, we have changed. I mean, I look at my evolution through time. You sat under me when I was a theologue in the church. You were there as a young man. Sir. Now look at all this time that has transpired, and look at, I'm the same man. I think that I'm far better having gone through what I went through years ago.
Of course.
Well, these young people don't even, when I talked to them, I said, tell me what your life is going to look like when you're 60. They can't think beyond their 20s.
Well, yeah.
See, and I think that there's this frivolity has done that. It has taken away their ability to get serious about things. Oh, they got to get the latest phone, the latest video thing, the latest chat room, and all that stuff, and the news. Man, it's like, have you ever looked at the local news, the television news in your city? Do you see what these women are dressed in?
Who cares?
Man,
That's what they want
man, what in the heck has happened to our society? I
to
tune
wear.
in to
Oh,
see the news, not to see
but
that woman's breast
there you
sticking
go.
all up in my face.
It's paradigm shifts. It's the constantly changing of norms, which is healthy, I think. What
Oh,
is
I'm not
not healthy?
saying that it's not healthy. I'm just saying that the
No, it's
moral standard is.
well, morality is a subjective thing. It's also all relative. You know, for somebody's morality, somebody's immorality. We live in the United States. This is a free country. That's what happens. This is why people come here, because other places they won't allow shoot. There's certain places in this world where
So
if a
you're
woman tries to do that,
justifying the crossing of the border of all these thousands of Venezuelans and other people coming to our magnificently free country.
I don't justify anything because I don't. I have. I'm in no position of power. Do I think it's right or wrong? It's right for them, because definitely staying at a certain place is challenging for them. I mean, if you're wanting to stay somewhere where there's no opportunity, and actually you are living in the abyss, man, I'm gonna pack up and go somewhere. There was this joke a long time ago, and of course it's completely insensitive, but I'll say it. It was somebody. Who was it? Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison years ago had this joke, and he said he was watching on TV. You know those commercials that have all these people dying in famine and Ethiopia, and I'm like. And he said he couldn't help thinking, he said, why doesn't the cameraman give that kid a sandwich? And the other thing is like, why can't these people move where the food is? Now, completely insensitive, but understood. People have done that. People do move where the food is. People come to the United States. They go to France. They go to Italy. They go to all the places in the world that have exploited them. And they're saying, listen, I need a job. I need an opportunity. I'm willing to risk my life and my future to cross this border, be egged, be discriminated against. Because guess what? The United States still, whether I've said anything crazy and people get up, this is still one of the greatest, if not the greatest countries in the world. You know why? Because here, even in this country, I have the right to criticize my leadership.
Yes.
Be critical of its history. Don't come and tell me that things, let's make America great again. Well, wait a minute. What was so great about this in the 60s, in the 50s, for people that look like me? For the generations of people who were taken from Africa.
Man, I'm telling you, it's interesting that you said that, because you have a Latina surname. And when I think about when I got out of the army and I got sent to Korea, I got lucky that they didn't send me to Vietnam to die. That when I got back, you guys were wrestling as farm workers for decency, especially in California and Texas. And I remember those fights, man, those battles.
And guess what? That's when you had real politicians.
Right.
The only reason there was any traction for the farm workers because Robert Kennedy went over there, and the media was free to do what they needed to do. There have been atrocities during the war that we had in Iraq and Afghanistan, current day Ukraine. Do we see any of that stuff on TV? No. But in other nations around it, they show you. They show you the death. They show you the strewn bodies going through rigor mortis.
Because in our country, they're trying to keep us Americans in this matrix that, come on, man. They've done it to us.
Well, listen, they learned their lessons from Vietnam. You show these images, people get pissed. Yeah. Oh, let's not show the images, just report it. People don't want to see that, especially here. What's the other day? I think it was attributed to one of the generals when they were under, and I'm not here to Trump bash, but just the simple fact that they had some kind of event where they had a veteran speaking and he was like a double amputee and blah, 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 blah. Trump comes back and tells them, please don't do that again. It's not a good look. I said, what do you mean it's not a good look? This guy sacrificed his limbs for the United States. This is somebody we should idolize and look at it. Wow, that's a patriot willing to sacrifice their life for the Constitution. For me to speak to you over the Facebook for YouTube and talk about issues and just be open, but no, now we can't do it. For me, my vision of America is where we are free to speak about frivolity, free to disagree on how people dress and whatever, because that's just our opinions. And while we're speaking about that, you might have a point that I agree with. And I say, you know what? I might have changed my mind. And I made some point, and you say you might agree. But if we come into a discussion with me having a self-righteous point of view, we never get anywhere.
Yes, you're right.
And that's the beauty of America. People have died and fought for us so we can do this. And I appreciate that. And that's the America I love. An America that embraces future possibility and freedom to a certain degree.
Well, you're absolutely correct. I mean, what can I say? Oh, I see. Oh, no, there's my friend Anthony from Chicago is writing me on another of these devices. You know what? I have so many devices, Miguel, and I'm operating um, as an intelligent person in the sphere of all this technology and all of this stuff, but it still is very annoying to me.
Of course, it's daunting. Who wants to fucking relearn technology? Remember, just the other day, look, where I work, they haven't removed this. They haven't removed this rotary phone on the wall. It doesn't work anymore, but it's just a reminder of it. Wait a minute, I remember that. And when you missed that number, you got so frustrated because you had to do it all over again.
Right. Right.
But look at where we came from. That was annoying. Remember that? You just wanted to tear that phone off the wall.
Right.
Oh my God. But yeah, it is annoying. Who wants to learn new stuff? I have but the great thing about you, John, you've always kind of embraced technology because you always had a message, and if the message needed for you to learn and navigate through the modern technology, you did it.
Yeah. And yeah, it made me dammer. What is it? Where you can do 2 or 3 and 4 things at one time? Yeah.
Multitask.
Yeah, multitask. That's what this media thing has done for me. And it says, I'm just here at home. Oh, great. Yeah, see. Here
well,
I am
listen,
having
brother,
a conversation
I'm gonna have to
with
step out, and it's a wonderful time reminiscing. And if you ever want me to come back and talk, let's do it. But you know me already. I start blathering and blathering. So if you don't stop me, I'm gonna keep going. But listen, I just called to tell you I love you. I love what you do. And if I could go there, I'd give you a big hug and a big kiss in the cheek because I love you.
Well, I appreciate it, and I would receive it. Receiving that in love. God bless you to you and the family there in New York. Be
Stay
cool.
strong, brother.
All right, man. Always. Boy, that was great. That was Miguel. And I don't know whether you could see it. I don't think you can see it, but you could hear it. There's a man. That man used to sit. He went to UCLA with my daughters. And Miguel, a very exciting personality, to say the least. Never forget the good time that he gave me when I finally went to New York City. That was exciting. Go Rams. That's right. Oh my God. Mm. Now he added to the frivolity. Frivolity. He says it's good because they care. Now, there's a point that I had forgotten. Most of what we see going on is catered to the young people. It's made to get them to buy the product. They're the one in the tech field. I could say, hey, couldn't you just see me working in, let's say, where? Apple? I got an office there. What would my role be? What would I do? One of these, I got a computer here, I got one there, I got one here, I got one there. 5 computers. Oh well, I'm glad you can join me. I'm not even going to speak an hour. I wanted to. Oh, oh. Anthony wants to have a conversation. I should tell him to go on my YouTube live. Yes. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I just advised him. And I hope you guys are still with me. I'm sorry. This is Saturday morning, and usually I don't do a Saturday morning live, but I thought that I'd do a live today. And the subject matter that we're speaking about today is an important one. Uh, our frivolity in this nation. Everything has to be a joke, something behind it that makes people laugh. It has to be funny. It's not valuable unless, have you seen the videos out when people start fights in public places and how everybody stands around and with frivolity and sheer delight and silliness? Oh, look, ah, ha, ha. She's bashing the other lady's face in. And it is as if we have become a part of artificial intelligence so much to the degree that we cannot tell what is going on right in front of us. And I think that's a serious accusation, but that's where we are. Frivolity all around us. And no one wants to address it. No one wants to talk about it. It's just like Miguel said. Moral relativism is something of the past. And what I have to do is that I taught as a philosophy in the Americas when I spoke in the colleges is no longer believed today by younger people. It is a choice. I recall when I was explaining the difference between objective and subjective truth in philosophy, that some of the students had difficulty when we had to address it, because when you address your subjective and objective consciousness and see what they're feeding in your brain, it would do you well to know that so many of us, they're just continuously trying to brainwash you to believe that, and you find yourself doing it. That's what Miguel said. That's why we go for the frivolity. Let me give you another example. The commercial is about insurance. Okay. When they got football players and people, why are you trying to, to bundle it? They're talking about bundling it, and I understand the concept. But why didn't you just say, hello, this is, let me call it my insurance. Hello, this is John, and I work at my insurance. And if you want to save money, you can put the house insurance, the car insurance, the life insurance policies, and everything else with our company. You can, what we call, bundle it. And there you can make one payment a month to us, and we'll do the bookkeeping and take care of it. That's all bundling is. But look at the commercials that you see when they talk about bundle, and we handle all of your needs. And have you noticed, and I won't mention any companies because I don't want to go to YouTube jail, but have you noticed these advertisements for these attorneys? First, it was one guy, then another guy, and then some other people teamed up with some people. Now they got brothers coming on. And when you look at that, and then they got these people talking about, ooh, he got me this much money back. Ooh. And everybody's laughing. You ever think about the other person? Did you ever think about the other person? That's what we have to do. We have to think about the other guy. Now, that's a part of my old way of thinking, because the way I was brought up as a young man, over the spirit that ruled the age, I think, when you really get technical about that, listen to what people are saying. People are saying, I want my country back. The people on the, what's that, the right or the left? On the right, they're saying, I want my country back. Well, you can't have it back, because as the world turns, you have to turn with it. Can't have the 40s and the 50s. I was born in the 40s. I was born in 1944. You can't turn this world back to that. When I was a kid growing up here in Los Angeles in the 40s and the 50s, those were my days. Oh, I'm thinking about talking about freedom, Miguel, talking about freedom. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. To thee I sing. Miguel was right. It's the best country that is in the world for anybody to live in. And that's why everybody's knocking down walls coming over here. I did not blame them. But let us not show too much. Let us not be frivolous, silly. See, frivolous behavior is silly behavior that can be avoided because pay attention. The work that I used to do when I was a younger man, we as African American men and women no longer do those works. We no longer do it. We were the people cleaning all the hotels. We were the cooks in every major restaurant in this city. We were the elevator operators in downtown Los Angeles. Not in all the buildings, because I remember some of those buildings my grandma would take me in. She said we would have to take the stairs. It's blatant racism. Yes, I'm telling you the truth. And I've watched this city change. This is no longer the same city that I grew up in because all the social mores and all the values and all of that is gone. We were serious then. The world wasn't full of frivolity and laughter, joy and happiness. And I sensed it was coming in because every Christmas we'd have a Christmas presentation with the children in the Baptist church. And at that time it was the mid semester and thinking about grades and report cards. Some of the kids in the church are just off the scale. They couldn't learn anything. I don't know whether their parents ever spent time with them, but, and I love the little babies, but they couldn't understand common axioms. They operated more by direct commands to them. And I think that's why those parents rebelled against the system that was in this country for so long, because they were demanding of you to participate. You had no choice. Let me give you an example. I was told when I was in high school that upon my graduation, to retain a mailing address. That's one of the things that they taught us. They drilled in us. You have to have a mailing address. See, at that time, they had not developed the internet. They had not developed these phones and devices like this. They had not done that. This was unheard of. This was unheard of. All we had was, as Miguel said, a phone that was in the wall and in some kind of way hooked to the telephone pole, and then it worked. I think electronics is a marvelous detail. If the grid ever fails in this city, oh my God, it's going to be chaotic because people won't have any way of getting their stuff. And you don't want to see a society that is ripped apart by desperate human beings that can't stop their baby from crying because the baby's hungry and she has to get food in the baby's mouth. Humans would do terrible things. You need to know that. That's it. If you watch this later on, you can respond to it. Tell me what you think about it. Do you think that America is responding with frivolity? Does the situation warrant that? Or does our situation today? Okay, let me use one more illustration. Okay. I'll be darned. These flies tried to attack my tea. Oh, they want my tea. I keep covering it up and they keep attacking it. I'm not going to let them have it. There's a fly got in here. Well, with that being said, I think I'll end up. Thank you for coming, and I hope that I handled this frivolity. Leave your comments. I'd love to check them out later on. Bye.